Welcome back. On a day like this, it's important to make sure that you reflect on the state of your health. And of course, when it comes to your nutrition, it's a very, very important aspect of it. That's why we've invited Coach Liz back to the studio. Elizabeth Onyema is an advanced clinical weight loss expert and the CEO of Lizz Weight Watchers. She's a health and lifestyle entrepreneur and teaches nutrition, activity, and behavioral therapy. Today, we're putting in focus the pot belly pandemic. What are the factors responsible for this? Coach Liz, welcome back.
Thank you. The pot belly pandemic, very interesting topic. So yeah, basically, prior to thinking about, when people hear the word pot belly, they tend to think that we're talking about just men.
Okay.
No. Men and women have pot belly now. The only difference is maybe men can't wear cinchers, or stuff to like hide their bellies, but women obviously have to, And then talking about what would naturally trigger the growth of abdominal fat. If anybody who's on air right now had heard me last week, I had mentioned that when we were born, nobody was born with the growth of toxic fats, right? So it means that as we grow older, our food choices and our lifestyle choices would keep making this fat that's grown around our organs, you understand me, grow basically. Now, when we're talking about what triggers the growth of abdominal fat that finally now shows off or shows itself as a pot belly, I would love to categorize them under two major umbrellas, right? Okay. The first I like to call processed or ultra-processed foods. Okay. And then the second I'll refer to as simple carbohydrates. So I'm going to start with the ultra-processed foods or processed foods. So normally when Nigerians hear the word processed foods, we like to think about just cake and biscuits, right? That's canned foods, right? So you're right. But the thing about it is that when we talk about food processing, there are actually different stages of food processing. The most important thing, the catch here for everybody to grasp is this. When a food has been altered from its natural state.
So if you plucked it from the ground,
yes,
and you got it at the market and it still has its sand and its roots on it,
yes,
it's not been processed.
It's not been processed. Okay. So all you just need to do is to take it home, wash it, peel it, and cook it, right? Yeah. And eat. That is how food should be eaten. But the moment I take that food, take it to a laboratory or a manufacturing plant or whatever, and then I begin to remove stuff from the food, not just talking about peeling it, but I'm talking about removing stuff like fiber, which comes naturally with unprocessed foods, and then I begin to add in preservatives, colorings, food sugars, flavorings, I'm trying to work up the meal to make it more interesting for the final consumer, and I'm putting in unhealthy things into this food. That is a major cause of abdominal fat.
A lot of people don't think of flour as processed.
Yes.
I recently found out that it is one of the most processed foods.
In fact, I should have even mentioned not just ultra-processed foods, I should have also said genetically modified foods.
That's so, GMO.
GMO, yeah. So the problem is we now live in a world where you're looking at food, it looks like the natural thing, but it isn't the natural thing. And that's where wheat falls under. So the kind of wheat we have now are called high-yield semi-dwarf wheat. They just came into the world maybe about 60, 65, or 70 years ago. But it's actually a genetically modified creation by a man called Norman Borlaug. Now, the thing about it is the wheat we have right now is not the same as the wheat in the time of Christ. It's different. It is genetically different, and the way we metabolize it is different.
Okay.
And if you think about the way there is wheat right now in the world, wheat is everywhere. I mean, look at a regular Nigeria. No, let's not even talk about Nigeria. Let's talk about this small part of Magodo, right? The number of people that are eating bread for breakfast, eating noodles, eating pasta, taking biscuits, celebrating birthdays. Wheat is everywhere. Yet, have you ever seen a wheat farm?
No, you haven't. not in this particular climate, because it needs a specific type of climate to grow. But let's edge away a little bit from GMO foods. Let's come back to the assumptions.
Yes.
With regards to the pot belly or
yes.
the big belly or abdominal fat.
Yes.
The assumption is certain types of foods
yes.
are the ones that lead to it.
Yes.
We assume beer. We assume
yes, alcohol. It's a processed
heavy
food.
Carbohydrates like gari, eba.
Processed carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates. So what I'm trying to tell you in essence is any carbohydrate that does not contain fiber will grow abdominal fat.
Anyone.
And any carbohydrate, I'm saying it, I'm stressing it out again. Any natural carbohydrate. Some people will tell you that gari is natural. Now, I agree. But during the process of making gari, they removed the fiber from the food.
So including rice?
White rice. Part of it, yes. So gari has no fiber processed. White rice, no fiber processed. Pap.
Wow.
A popular corn pap, yes.
So it's cornmeal that is grinded.
So it's better for you to actually buy the dry corn, and then when you go ahead and soak it, blend it over and over again till it gets smooth. Take in the fiber, don't separate it. So the fiber is that part of the pap, yes, of the skin that we tend to throw away. That particular substance is very important in helping fight abdominal fat. So
then what about beans? We peel beans to make moi moi.
So now the thing about it is that the kind of fiber that beans has is what we call the soluble and insoluble. Now we have two types of fiber. So the problem is the skin on the back of the beans is insoluble fiber, but there is still soluble fiber in the bean itself. Same thing happens to plantain. So when you hear people say, they tell diabetic patients, eat plantain, eat beans, it's because they really cannot remove the fiber from these foods as compared to others. And
so now, I'm going to stop you there. I know, I want to stop you because I know you're on a roll here. Yes. I want to touch on what you can do to reduce the pot belly in just a minute.
So, number one, you must exercise. I had reiterated that fact last week. You must exercise. Physical activity helps burn abdominal fat. So you must learn to sustain your workout for 1 hour. Don't do more than 1 hour. You could stress yourself out. Over-exercising can be stressful to the body and can cause a counter effect, right? Second aspect, stay away from foods that contain all sorts of chemical substances you do not understand, right? Stay away from these foods. Stay away from carbohydrates that have been processed. Stay away from ultra-processed foods. Avoid fizzy drinks, alcohol, and quite a number of foods I've mentioned here already.
Basically, all the things that we get at the average party or Uwambe, we're not supposed to be eating them.
No, not really. You can get moi moi.
Moi
in a regular Nigerian party.
So fish and chicken.
Chicken, perfect.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
food.
There is still hope, people. There is hope. And if the assumption is that men are not wearing cinchers, there are a few men wearing cinchers these days. You might not know because they wear a jacket and a suit over it. But hey, let's see if we can clip this pandemic of pot bellies in the bud. Thank you so much, Coach Liz.
Thank you so much, Titi.
We would love your comments and contributions as well. At this point, we are heading over to the kitchen.